Hi there, I'm Drew Badger, the world's #1 English fluency guide, and it is a pleasure to welcome you to another advanced listening practice lesson. I want to begin by apologizing. It's very early in the morning here. I wanted to wake up before everyone else was awake and running around the house, especially my daughter. So I'm awake pretty early actually over here, but I'm excited to be making this video, so I apologize if I do. I'm not quite clean shaven over here. That's something you could try to say 5 times fast. Quite clean shaven, quite clean shaven, quite clean shaven. Anyway, I'm excited to be here. I've had a couple of vacations recently. So the first one, I was going back to California. I was actually visiting my younger sister out there and my mom and her husband, or not my mom's husband, but my younger sister's husband. So I get to stay with them in San Francisco, and I had a lot of fun traveling around, doing lots of interesting things out there. And then on this most recent trip, just a family vacation here in Japan, I went to Kyoto, Japan. So it was a nice opportunity to take my daughter take my daughter there for the first time and get to show her what everything looks like. And Kyoto is a special place for me. I really like just the whole design of the entire area, the entire city. It's built based on the ancient kind of Chinese design for capital cities. And so it's a really nice grid formation with all the streets that are really easy to recognize and understand. But within all of these big, easy to understand places, you've got lots of tiny little places to explore, lots of beautiful gardens. We took a trip to the zoo, which you can find on the YouTube channel as well. So that was another really interesting thing we wanted to do. And I spent a lot of time just walking around with my daughter, just showing her interesting things and getting to spend more time with her, because that's really the best thing I can do to help her start speaking and help her start reading as well. She actually really likes letters. So anytime we see letters, she stops and wants to look at everything. So I'm really excited about that. Anyway, in this video, I wanted to talk about something that I mentioned in a mail to subscribers not that long ago. And if you'd like to learn more about that, you can learn more about that at our website, actually at EnglishAnyone.com/power-learning. And you can actually take a really great quiz that we've got there now that really helps people, give a lot of great information specifically for people that have really whatever your problem area is with your English. But it's something that, typically when people are learning a language, there are one or two things that people have a specific problem with. And if you solve that, it could be listening or reading or speaking or whatever the problem is. But if you solve that, then it takes your fluency up to a much higher level, maybe 2, 3, or even 10 times or more higher, just because you're solving all of these individual problems with your fluency and you're tackling the #1 frustration that you have with your fluency. So you can learn more about that there. But so since we're talking about, learning and trying to improve as we always are, something I wanted to talk about in this video was when you're really thinking about, I think the best way to explain it is that, like, the people that get fluent or the people that succeed or the people that do really well at whatever the thing happens to be, these are people that tend to have a philosophy of ready, fire, aim. Now, you hear this a lot in kind of business books and other things as well, but when people are talking specifically about how to do something such that you can succeed quickly, especially something that requires a lot of time and a lot of patience and dealing with other people, so something like fluency, as I was talking about with newsletter subscribers recently. So I mentioned a friend of mine that he had spent a lot of time. He's a really talented guy, and I had seen him back in California, and he was kind of telling me this story about how he was, I guess I could say I could remember it from college as well, but basically he was talking about how he had spent a lot of time trying to get into lots of different things, but never quite completed any one of them because he was really focused on being perfect at that one thing. And so I would say, why don't you tell people about it? Why don't you design these things with other people? Because they depend on other people, especially businesses. It's really difficult to try to build a business by yourself and then release it to other people when you're finally finished with it and you think it's perfect. And then most of the time the business does badly because the business depends on other people being there. So I was talking to my friend and explaining, and this is another thing that I explained in the newsletter, was that for something that's a social idea or a social learning thing or something that depends on other people, like business or learning a language, the important thing is that you actually have to do it really from the beginning with other people. And that's why when I design courses or when I do anything, like I make a lot of mistakes at what I do. But the reason that I make mistakes is because I'm happy to actually start getting involved with other people. And the truth about what I do is really important to me. So let's say like everybody hated this video, and I got the whole bunch of comments down below. I might be a little bit sad about that, but at the same time, I'd be really happy to know, oh, okay, so people don't like this video. I'd rather make something else, or people are more interested in hearing about something else. But you don't have access to that information until you put it out there for other people to understand or to try to, to consume or try to use or something like that. So in the same way that people are starting to build more businesses now, the whole business landscape, the landscape of business, so just talking about business in general, especially software development, is starting something and really building it with people in the same way that you would build fluency with other people. And the ready, fire, aim philosophy means that instead of getting ready, and you're going to aim, like really try to focus on a particular topic or a particular target. Like I said, it was early, or it is early, and then fire. So instead of really focusing on something and trying to make it exactly perfect and then pulling the trigger, what people are really doing more now is just getting ready. So starting things, getting a little bit ready, and then pulling the trigger. So you're starting to shoot, and then you're aiming after that. So you shoot your first shot, and maybe it hits well, maybe it doesn't, but you learn from that, and then you start correcting, and then you actually get fluent faster, or you build your business faster, or whatever that thing is you have to do. So people talk about failing quickly, such that you can start learning more quickly, and then you can actually get to your success, whatever your goal is, much, much faster. So the important thing to think about ready, fire, aim with learning with, business, like my friend back in California, or you with fluency, or whatever else it is in your life that you're interested in doing. The point is to, especially when you're involved with other people, so something like fluency, particularly because it requires you to be with other people and to practice in front of other people in order to actually get fluent. Because if you just sit and, look at a textbook in your room, you're sitting studying by yourself, excuse me. So if you're just sitting and studying by yourself, it's going to be really difficult for you to actually, when you finally get in front of people and you think you're perfect, you think you've practiced, you haven't actually built the confidence by practicing in front of other people. So it begins by starting to do something a little bit in front of other people, and then starting to learn from that, and then starting to improve, and then it gets much, much, much better over time. So I thought about this now as I'm sitting there and I'm talking with my friends and just walking around talking with people in Kyoto, and now I can actually speak fluent Japanese. And the reason I can do that is because I stopped learning that traditional way where I was thinking about, okay, I need to kind of sit down and study a whole bunch of flashcards and textbooks and things like that. Now, this is good if you want to study a test where it doesn't matter if another person is involved. Again, this difference between having people involved in what you do. So if I'm learning math or something that it's just a test that's going to be literally testing me about something, it doesn't matter if I spend time with other people or not. But if what I'm doing depends on other people, again, like having a business where you're successfully selling something to other people, or you're trying to speak fluently in front of other people, it really depends on having other people there to practice with. So that's really important. So in the case of, me trying to do that, or you trying to get fluent, whatever the case happens to be, if you are more of a ready, fire, aim, and then you continue this process over and over again, that's what's going to help you learn and really going to help you get fluent. So you have to be able to build speaking confidence. And again, the way I did it was stopping learning the traditional way and then starting the very first thing. So this is just one of the ways that really changed my learning and my ability to get fluent was the speaking practice missions that I started creating, because I realized, it's nice to maybe know a few words, but if I can't use them confidently, if I feel nervous and scared and don't want to make any mistakes, then I'm never going to actually build the speaking confidence and the fluency required to speak fluently. So what I did was, and this is an example I've given probably dozens of times to different learners, so if you're new to it, I hope you take this example and use it yourself, is I would go to like a grocery store. This is the first thing, or one of the first few things I started to do to get fluent in Japanese, and I would just say to people, hey, where is the sugar? Where is the salt? Where is the, whatever, something like that. So I did that, number one, because all the people working at a grocery store are busy. They're not just standing around with nothing to do. So they can answer a quick question for me and I can know if I'm using the language correctly or not. So I just practice one thing and I focus on it and review it over and over again until I can say it perfectly. Where is this? Where is this? Where is this? Where is that? Where is that? So I practice that thing, and in the practicing of it, again, it's that ready, fire, aim thing where I'm taking a particular thing. The ready part of it is just the phrase I want to practice. The fire is where I say it over and over and over again, and then I aim by getting better each time I'm learning and each time I'm using something. So my pronunciation improves, my listening improves. Maybe the person that's replying to me or the staff at the grocery store is a little bit different each time, but I would just walk around to different people in the store and say, hey, where is the sugar? Where is the salt? And, even if I didn't really need that thing, I would just walk up to everyone I could find and ask them for their help. So if you're willing to do this, if you're willing to actually do this, that's what's going to help you get fluent or help you succeed at whatever else you're happen to be doing is. Anyway, I don't want to be talking too much here. I wanted to just give you this, but this is a really important point about how you think, because it extends, the kind of new things that are happening in business are the same things that happen in fluency and anything else that requires you to deal with people. So when you're thinking about dealing with people and having the chance to get fluent, this is the thing I'd like you to think about today. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this lesson. Do give me specific feedback, as I'm always trying to learn. Again, everything on this channel is a work in progress. So I try different things and see how they work. And I'm still trying to ready, fire, aim around YouTube and figure out, things I'd like to do. Like, will I continue with this series, or I can, create something new? But the best way I can do that is if I learn more from you. So if you like this video, tell me why. And if you don't like this video, well, you can tell me why as well. Hopefully you've been watching this, this whole thing. And if you don't like it, well, maybe that's a little bit weird. But if you're trying to help me improve, and that way I can help you improve, then we get a connection here where we can have something that, both of us or everyone here actually gets to improve a lot, because we're both trying to think about different ways, or trying to do that ready, fire, aim approach of going back and forth to create something that's really helpful for you, to help you learn. My English is already great, so I don't really need to practice so much. So I'm here for you. Anyway, have a fantastic day. If you have liked this video, do click that like button and become a subscriber to the YouTube channel if you haven't already. And I look forward to seeing you in the next lesson video. Also, just one quick thing I'll mention. If you're new to this channel and you're watching these videos and you'd like to get the transcripts for these, you can also find those at EnglishAnyone.com. So we're kind of releasing the lessons here first, and then after a while we release the lessons with the transcripts with our special video player, so you can actually go back and review everything, and you've got the specific transcript there that you can click on specific parts of the transcript. So if you want to find particular sections of the text, you can click on that, have things repeat. The new video player we created is really fantastic, very helpful for learners, and you can customize the way you learn with it. So I'm really excited to be releasing that, or I guess since we have released that. But if you'd like transcripts for these and you'd like to have subtitles as well, please go to EnglishAnyone.com and you can find those there. Have a fantastic day, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.
To continue learning, click on the link in this video to download Speak English Naturally, our free guide to speaking and sounding like a native English speaker. The guide reveals the 3 most important kinds of conversational English you must learn if you want to sound native, and will help you experience instant improvement in your fluency and speaking confidence. To download your free guide on a mobile device, click on the link in the upper right of this video. To download your free guide from a computer, click on the link in the lower right of this video. I look forward to seeing you in the guide.